Well, as people age, they may experience certain life changes that could impact their mental health, such as physical decline, losing a loved one. These stressors can lead to changes in their mental health. Christy Buck with Mental Health Foundation of West Michigan is here to talk with us about what to look out for. Thanks for being here with us. So just talk about how common it is for older adults to experience changes in their mental health.
Sure. Well, older adults will experience more life changes and more challenges to their mental health. So that's why we have to be on extra alert. So, like you mentioned, different things that might be going on in their life, stressors in their life that have to do with physical health, maybe have to do with their housing and changes in where they're living. Maybe it's facing the death of a loved one that now they're facing life by themselves. Older adults can also experience times of loneliness, times of feeling worthless because they're not doing the same things that they were doing before. So those risk factors are really important for us then to understand. I should be looking for, trying to notice changes in someone's mental health. So now I'm going to be on alert.
So what mental illnesses affect older adults? Talk more about that.
Well, believe it or not, they could also face challenges with a mental illness called depression. And depression is the most common mental health disorder in older adults, along with anxiety. So with some physical illnesses, it will bring about those anxious feelings. So if somebody has a breathing condition, not being able to take a breath in, expel, anything that has to do with breathing can cause anxiety. Now we need to look for heightened anxiety, potentially maybe a panic attack where they can't breathe. So understanding and noticing those things in an individual could possibly lead me to starting the conversation.
And Christy, I was reading, unfortunately, something about, it was saying about the elevated suicide rates among older adults.
Unfortunately, nationally, 20% of deaths by suicide are made up by individuals 60 years and older. In Kent County alone, last year and in 2023, 24% of deaths by suicide were between the ages of 60 and up to over 80 years old.
Wow.
So we need to be on high alert. At that point, oftentimes people, they're struggling. They're struggling with loneliness. They're struggling with living by myself. No one there to take care of them anymore. They're living with those serious physical health concerns that maybe come along with pain. Maybe they come along with increased medicines that potentially could have a side effect where I could be more depressed. So starting conversations now with loved ones, and even those conversations that can be difficult of, my life would never be the same without you. I want to help you. Let's get you help. Giving them the access to these phone numbers and helplines. If they're feeling like that in the middle of the night where they can't talk to anyone, 988, it's a good conversation starter for someone.
What are some of the warning signs to look out for?
Somebody who might be saying, you would be better off without me. I'm such a burden to the whole family. Those things of, I want to die. I don't want to wake up tomorrow morning. I wish I were dead. I mean, those sometimes are those blatant ones. And oftentimes many of us want to respond by saying, oh no, you wouldn't want to do that. You would never kill yourself. But what we know is those are cries for help. Those are those serious conversations that I need to jump in and I need to challenge myself with following that comment up with, you just said this. Are you thinking of suicide? And then repeat it again. Are you thinking of suicide? If they said yes, then at that point I want to get them in touch and get some help. 988, I cannot stress it enough. Pick up the phone and have that individual talk to someone.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Christy. So important. Anything else that you want to add?
I just think it's, it's just important that we follow that plan of noticing those changes in someone's behavior, inviting myself into that conversation, challenging those resources, and empowering them with protective factors. And that is love, support, being around family, being around friends, and ultimately accessing services.
We have busy lives, but we can pick up that phone, check in on them, right?
You got
Stop by. Thank you, Christy.